All right, today we're going to crack open the playbook of a Web3 startup, XYZ Company. We're going to see exactly how they used a really precise one-two punch of PR and marketing to go from being a total unknown to a serious player in, let's be honest, a ridiculously crowded market. So let's just dive right in.
You know the feeling, right? It's that classic startup nightmare. You've poured your heart and soul into building something amazing, something you know can change the game, and then you launch to crickets. Just silence. Well, that's exactly where this story starts. So, let's meet our protagonist, XYZ Company. They had a fantastic product. I mean, truly innovative stuff. But they were staring down a massive, massive problem. They were basically invisible, completely lost in all the noise of the Web3 world.
And their tech was no joke. It was a platform designed to make moving assets between blockchains way safer, which, tackles the huge issue of cross-chain fraud. But here was the catch. There were literally thousands of other projects all launching at the same time, screaming from the rooftops that they were the next big thing. And in that hurricane of hype, XYZ was just a tiny whisper. When you boil it all down, they were facing two huge hurdles. First up, the trust issue. I mean, in a space that's unfortunately full of scams and rug pulls, who were they? Nobody knew if they were legit. They had zero validation from anyone credible. And second, the awareness gap. To put it simply, no one even knew they existed. And you have to understand, in Web3, trust isn't just a nice to have, it's everything. It is literally the currency of growth. Without it, you get no users, you get no investors, and you definitely don't get a community. For XYZ, this wasn't just some marketing problem. Nope, this was a survival problem.
So they realized they couldn't just build this trust on their own, and they made a really critical decision. They decided, you know what, forget the flashy ads for now. We have to start with credibility. So they went out and hired a PR agency to tackle that trust problem head-on.
And the goal they set was crystal clear, totally laser-focused. It wasn't about getting 1 million signups overnight, not at all. The mission was simply to establish XYZ Company as a serious, credible, and trustworthy project that the rest of the industry really needed to start paying attention to.
Okay, now this is where you can see the PR agency's genius right away. They didn't just polish the old message, they completely reframed the entire story. They went from this dry technical feature, we offer secure cross-chain transactions, to this powerful mission-driven vision, we are building a safer Web3. Instantly, they weren't just another piece of tech, they were the solution to one of the industry's biggest headaches. So how'd they get that news story out there? Well, they used a smart three-part strategy. First, strategic press releases every time they hit a milestone, aimed right at the crypto-native news sites where the real community hangs out. Second, they did direct media outreach to get their founders talking to key journalists. And third, they started building up their thought leadership by getting opinion pieces published and landing their team on relevant podcasts and panels.
And the results? They were pretty amazing. They got mentions in over 30 different crypto publications. Their founders went from being nobodies to being seen as actual authorities in the space. That new credibility started attracting real, inbound interest from VCs and angel investors. And get this, their community on places like Telegram and Discord doubled, completely organically. And why? Because people finally started to believe in them.
Okay, so phase 1 complete. XYZ now has credibility. People actually trust them. But, trust alone doesn't pay the bills. With that solid foundation of trust in place, the focus had to shift from getting people to listen to getting people to act. And that's when it was time to bring in marketing. The marketing goal was just as clear as the PR one, but with a really important difference. This was all about one thing: conversion. The new mission was to turn all that hard-won trust and awareness into tangible, measurable results. We're talking user signups, transactions, real activity on the platform. And their execution was super smart. They ran paid ads exactly where their audience lives, on Twitter, Reddit, and in Telegram groups. They partnered up with trusted crypto influencers, and this is so key. Their endorsements now felt totally authentic because of all that PR groundwork. And of course, they fired up their own community with events like AMAs, which are Ask Me Anything sessions, plus giveaways and contests. So what was the big headline result from all of this? A 5-fold increase in platform signups, a 5x jump. That right there is the power of marketing when it's built on a foundation of trust. Their ads weren't just shouting into the void. They were talking to an audience that was already warmed up and ready to listen.
And just look at what it did for their community. It tripled in size during the marketing push. But here's the most important part. The engagement stayed high. These weren't just bots or passive followers they were buying. These were active, engaged users and genuine advocates for the project.
So here's the absolute crucial point of this whole story. This wasn't just two separate campaigns running side by side. No, it was a single, powerful system. Think of it like a flywheel, where PR gave the first push and then marketing spun it even faster, creating this unstoppable momentum.
This table just breaks it down perfectly. PR's job is to make people listen. Marketing's job is to make people act. PR builds that foundation of trust, and then marketing comes in and builds the house of growth right on top of it. Two totally different jobs, but part of the same incredibly powerful system. And I love this quote because it just sums everything up. Think about it. Without the PR first, all their marketing ads would have just been ignored. Another crypto ad, right? But without the marketing that came after, all that great media buzz from the PR would have just fizzled out and had zero impact on their actual growth.
Okay, so what can we all take away from this? Let's distill XYZ Company's entire journey down into a few clear, actionable lessons that any founder or builder out there can use.
Here's the playbook. Plain and simple. Lesson 1. Credibility first. Always. Use PR to build that foundation of trust before you even think about scaling. Lesson 2. Marketing's job is to convert that trust into real, measurable action. Be obsessed with your data. And Lesson 3. Your community is the ultimate proof that you're winning. So focus on genuine engagement, not just big, flashy follower counts. Ultimately, what the XYZ Company story proves is that having a great product just isn't enough. You also need a great story, and you need a smart strategy to tell that story to the right people in the right order. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Your project has a story. Who are you telling it to? And more importantly, are they ready to listen?